Cassano, you know what? Cassano's got balls.
This is absolutely just a building block for Napoli, and I think that they're only going to get better from here.
And a lot of us had Inter winning the league, and that's not happening this season. We all know.
Okay, good morning, guys. Actually, good afternoon, guys. It's been a long time, right? It's been a long time. Really Somebody's very happy. Somebody's face is so happy. You must, I don't know.
All of us.
No,
you know why?
Oh, you got 15 points? What is that? 5 times 3 is 15, right? What is 5? What does that mean, 5?
Cinque palmi.
Oh, you know what?
Cinque squadre. 5 teams into the semifinals for Italian squads.
Yeah, but you don't count the UEFA League like 5 teams. It's just
why not?
That's part of it.
Fiorentina counts.
Fiorentina definitely counts.
Well, you just said they didn't count.
That's in our conference league.
It's a conference league. All right.
Come on, we're the only league that has 5 teams through. And we have a very good chance. We have one team that's going to go into the Champions League final for sure.
We know Fiorentina's going to win the cup.
I think Fiorentina's going to win.
Cup, so it's one win.
They have a good chance.
That's
and
one trophy.
Juventus have to go against Sevilla, and Roma go against Leverkusen.
They already did the
yeah, it's already done.
It's tough. Sevilla just knocked down Manchester United, and Sevilla are known for playing very well.
No, Sevilla are good at this competition.
Maguire, anybody can win with Maguire. Look at that. He scored this beautiful header in his own net.
You know, Maguire reminds me of somebody. He reminds me of like when I play with you on Sunday mornings.
I don't play Sunday mornings. Nicky!
You play
Nick,
Saturdays.
do you see what they say? Can you cut this out, Nick? This gets cut it, okay? First of all, I don't play soccer with losers. Right or wrong, Mike?
Absolutely.
So who do you play soccer with?
I don't play soccer. I play tennis. I have a finesse game, okay?
A finesse game.
I don't play soccer if the game it's not fluid game. It's not a game with
you want a tiki-taka
with
kind
intelligence
style, right?
game. There is no intelligence playing with some of some of those people. they think that they're such a superstar and then they suck.
Like they should be signed or something, right?
Yeah, they should be signed on the. Don't make me say the word. Never mind.
Anyway, let's start with our Champions League. Our Champions League teams. Let's start with AC Milan. Milan that knocked Napoli out. By the way, we did all of our predictions. You and I were the only 2 that predicted Milan to go through out of Napoli. We did also get it wrong, though. The other 3 said Napoli, but they also said that Inter were going to go through. You and I said Benfica.
Well, listen, I had a lot more hope on Benfica, given the fact that they were on the first place in the Portuguese league, and the fact that they had some quality midfield and forward. And I said, the way Inter was playing, it was not really conducive to have a high hope. But Inzaghi pulled it through. They won 2-0 over there, and they wound up, winning, with deservedly. So I say. So they didn't. They deserved the position that they are in. As much as I hate Inter going through, you know me, I'm a real tifoso. I mean, I really pull for all the team from Serie A except for Inter. But going back to AC Milan,
you would have rather played. No, now you went to Inter, so we'll start with Inter.
Yeah.
You would have rather played Benfica than Inter.
Yes. Yeah.
You didn't want the derby.
No, I didn't want the derby, not because I don't like it, but it's just because
scared?
No, it's just we get all of this. We are the better team. We play the better soccer, and for some reasons, Inzaghi is so lucky when he plays against us. He winds up winning the most important games of his life.
That's not true at all.
It is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, what
last year you guys did the comeback when they were up 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah, but we didn't win the cup. We're talking about the cup. We're talking about the cup.
Well, in the cups he's really good. In the cups, Inzaghi's teams are really good.
Saying.
But you beat them. You beat them one time. They beat you one time.
All right.
This year.
They beat us twice. They beat us on the Supercoppa. Oh yeah. Okay. So now.
But the Supercoppa, I don't know how much I count it.
All right,
of course, it's there, but in the league, when the pressure was on, I feel like Milan came through against Inter.
Let me put it this way: if we stay healthy the way we played Napoli the last couple weeks, I think we have a good chance. But now we're not way over the favorite. I would say it's 55-45
for Milan's favor. You think?
I have to be honest. I mean, no, we're joking around. But Inter is not a team that you can relax when you play against them.
So where are we starting? Which team are we going to start with? Let Michael choose. Which games are we going to break down first?
Let's do Inter.
Yeah, let's do Inter. Let's do Inter first. The game against... I was expecting a lot more from Benfica over both legs, really. But also we saw an Inter that responded, an Inter that reacted. Because we know there's 2 teams, the one in Serie A and then the one that plays in Champions League. And the one here, able to score goals, able to convert their chances, defends well. I know the game ended 3-3, but Inter had that 2-goal advantage. Barella is just, he's on another level when he plays, when he wants to play. He's phenomenal. And we saw that at the San Siro. They managed to do it. Getting to the semifinal is a massive achievement for Inter. and I think for Inzaghi's teams, and he's buying himself this way into to stay at Inter just because of how good they're doing in the Champions League. And I know people keep talking about the draws and how favored, but Inter was in a group with Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and most people didn't even have them getting out of that group. So the fact that they are, I think it's also credit to Inzaghi because he's motivated his team and he hasn't said, oh, we don't care about the Champions League, we're just going to focus on the league, which is something that personally I really like.
Yeah, I think it is a big part in terms of, I think we all kind of written off Inzaghi in terms of Inter need a new coach. But Marco, like how you said with this Champions League thing, he didn't just put all his eggs in one basket. He respected all the competitions he was in. And he's in the semifinals of the Champions League. I mean, you could say they overachieved compared if you said in the beginning of the season where you expect Inter to be in the Champions League. So I think Inzaghi definitely is buying himself a lot of valuable time in terms of the Zan group's going to be like, okay, he underperformed in the league, but in the Champions League he did well. And their journey didn't end yet. They're still playing Milan, which is pretty much 50-50. Anything can happen. And who knows, with a little luck on their part, they can go to the final. So at the end of the season, they really got to put this into perspective and be like, maybe Inzaghi, if we hold him on for another season, he could be the coach to be. So I think it's very smart what he's done in this sport.
But is it because
point of Sarri,
what about
Sarri
now
usually
Serie
drops out
A?
of the competition.
Now you kind of have to, we know where Inter is in the league. They're now 6th place currently, where they sit. And it's kind of like a catch-22, even for Milan, because with the way Lazio's playing and Roma and Juventus getting their points back, it could be one of the Inter or Milan. If they don't win the Champions League, they might not be in the Champions League if they don't finish in the top 4. So is it really smart? Didn't he go kind of all in?
In what you're saying? You
said he didn't go all in.
Yeah, in one competition. Yeah, I think he spread it upon all the comps.
But do you think it's the right idea because now they're in 6th place in Serie A?
I mean, you could say the same thing about Milan. Too.
I know,
they're not top
but I'm
4,
asking.
You
said it about Inter, so I'm asking you for Inter.
For me personally, I think you should respect every competition. So I get what you're saying. Maybe your squad isn't deep enough to compete in all fronts, and maybe don't play your full squad in a competition to focus more on one. But I'm the kind of person that would give my all in every competition.
But they've had to rotate. We've seen Inter rotate the weekend before. We've seen Milan. They did it with 10 players, and oftentimes they slipped up after and prior.
They do this. They see. Because it's in grabbing distance. The finals in grabbing distance now for the Champions League.
But my question to you is that the like you think when they reflect on it, let's just say Inter or Milan, they don't win the Champions League. Let's just say that, right? Just for argument's sake, and they finish outside the top 4. How do you think that Inzaghi will be judged? And I'm just pushing back.
Oh, purely.
I'm focused on that because he mentioned the Zan group taking into consideration. How do you think that he will be judged?
I mean, if you think about it, people say 2nd place, you don't win anything. Yeah, it's true, you don't win anything. But this is the Champions League. This is the best club competition there is.
That you wouldn't be playing in the next season.
That you wouldn't be playing in the next season, yes. You wouldn't be making that Champions League money, but when's the last time they were in the final? 2010, and that's when they won it, obviously. But they're in the final. If they don't win it, they're 2nd place. I think that's something to talk about.
I don't disagree, I think we're going a little bit deep. We should be celebrating and happy. I'm just pushing back, based off what you said.
But I think that even 2nd place in Champions League. I think that merits something, even though if you don't win it.
So
I think,
Anto.
I'm going to try to respond to because the question applies to AC Milan as well. So I think AC Milan management, I include Maldini inside. They've been playing Russian roulette with those two competitions because it's like a hit or miss. So we put all our eggs into one basket, which is the Champions League, because first of all we got a lot more money from the champions. We have two or three extra games that we have to play. Away or home, and the fan part, part of the competition, it gets bigger and bigger. I think the new ownership of AC Milan is way over happy to the fact that we are closer to maybe they're getting close to the final again after so many years that we were not even qualifying for the Champions League. But at the same time, like Marco said before, we have the Campionato to reckon on, and now we are gambling with we're taking the 10 starters out, especially against Bologna. Given the fact that AC Milan played a wonderful game with Bologna, I mean they were denied a couple of penalties that they were clear penalties.
But even against was it Empoli that you tied as well?
That's too many points that we dropping that we should have been dropping. But I think the gamble that they did take AC Milan is that for the remaining of the season, because this is the only competition that we have. Inter is still on the Coppa Italia, Juventus is on the Coppa Italia. So one of those teams is going to have to try. We're going to hope
they're going to be out this week. One of them is going to be out this week.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to try to hope that they're going to slip up. They're going to slip up, and then I keep saying jokingly, someone is going to get injured, and then it's going to be playing to the advantage of AC Milan.
We don't wish injuries on anyone.
We don't wish of course, we don't wish injuries.
You just said
to
the
anybody.
opposite.
But we played half of the season with the emergency room right next to the locker room. So we were just technically into the emergency room with half of the squad.
Okay.
Right now we're healthy, and I think AC Milan is going to pull it through even on the Champions League for the next season.
Okay, so we went with a lot of ifs and maybes, but I think it's an important conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Milan's win over Napoli, and then we'll break down the Napoli side. But let's focus on the Milan. A Milan that have completely turned things around from the way that they started 2023, where they look like a shadow of themselves from the year before. They've gotten key players. The way that I see it, I think they've gotten key players besides the superstars that we know of already that have started to perform. And for me, those names are, Maignan and Leao, you put them in one category. We know what they have. I think players like Brahim Diaz has come massive when he's needed to. Him doing that freed up space for others. Benacer has been incredible. Tonali, the work rate. One of the goals, too, winning the ball back into the midfield and allowing everyone else to do their job. Who else? Calabria. Krunic. We can name a bunch of them. And that kind of goes back to why Milan won the Scudetto last year, was because they focused on the group. And I do think that they like this sort of chip on their shoulder where they're counted out a lot of times. And when they're counted out, they seem to perform. So maybe that's Pioli's way of motivating his team, because when they want to play, and especially when Leao wants to play, I don't know if anybody can stop them. Like they're that good in absorbing pressure, defending when you need to defend, counterattack, and Leao's got the speed to beat anybody. So for you, how did you see the games against Napoli?
I have to be honest with you. Napoli, he went out with the chin very high. I mean, they played their heart off, and I think they have nothing to be ashamed of. Part of me wanted Napoli not to go through, but especially against AC Milan. But if it wasn't AC Milan, I would have been pulling for Napoli. Don't get me wrong, because Napoli. I'm from the south. Like, it's not a secret. I come from Bari. The ownership of Napoli, they own Bari, which is my town and my team. And I have a soft spot for them, but unfortunately, I want AC Milan to win. But I still hold a lot of respect.
So how did you see the game? Because Napoli started strong both legs.
The game itself, on the overall, I think AC Milan had an edge for the quality of the chances that they created and the number of time that they put Napoli on their back, because Napoli they were struggling with AC Milan. Given on the paper, they were the better team, but AC Milan pulled some spectacular game. They went after Lobotka, they went after Zielinski, they killed their creative players. They just eliminate them from the field, and then they focus on getting their speed and going vertically straight to the goalie with Leao, with Benacer, Actually, Benacer was on the top, because Benacer we rarely see him playing top, because Benacer
is more attacking position.
Yeah. So what we did, we took our game to Napoli instead of for Napoli to come to us. So instead of the best, what we say is the best defense, it's offense. Yeah. So instead of defending, we didn't counter and I think AC Milan did not counter Napoli. Think so? Well, on the last game, yes.
I feel like it was mostly Napoli going
because
up.
The Napoli I had to catch up.
They had 75% possession.
Napoli were possessing the ball,
but
most
it was sterile. I mean, the Napoli possession, it was like side. They were never close to penetrate. I mean, Carasvelli, except for 2 times that he went through Calabria and the second defender that was helping around, he didn't do anything. Score. He was not able to score.
Yeah, chances
neither. Yeah, I know. Osman, except for that extra time ahead, he didn't do much. I mean,
Di Lorenzo, that shot too, that huge chain for Maignan, incredible save. And Guevara, in the first leg, chance.
Yes, on the first leg,
but second leg too, he had 2 big chances.
Yeah, but if Guevara would have scored the first 3 minutes of the first leg,
would have changed everything.
Football is crazy.
It would have been.
I think it would have been a whole different leg.
But soccer has been made of those episodes, and we all know it. I didn't like reading from the Corriere and the Gazzetta that what's his name, Spalletti was complaining about 6 or 7 situation that where Napoli was penalized. At the end of the day, just play the game and just make your chances count. So that's what AC Milan did. They were more
he wanted the penalty, the one Leao tackled.
There was a penalty on Salesmaker too on the first leg that nobody, and AC Milan is not there complaining.
Napoli have the problem of converting penalties too, because even when
so did AC Milan
got
with
their
Giroud, look
penalty.
what happened. We should have converted too.
So wait, I just want to say, Anto, because a lot of people were talking about this. Do you think it was Milan that won this game, or do you think Napoli just couldn't convert their chances and they kind of beat themselves?
I think Napoli did not convert.
So it was more than that than Milan.
Well,
beating
Milan didn't miss the chances that Napoli missed. Okay, AC Milan, those 2-3 chances,
they were more efficient. Milan were definitely more efficient.
Napoli, they had chances, and even playing 10 against 11 on the first leg, they were very, very, very dangerous. And I give them a lot of credit. I think Napoli's got nothing to be ashamed of.
I totally agree with.
I have a lot of friends. Rosario, Phil,
Ludo.
and everybody else, Ludo. I mean, I will never rub it into those guys because
You kept telling me to call Ludo during the match.
I call Ludo because Ludo and I were best buddies. I don't wanna throw salt on the wounds because those are my buddies.
You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
At the end of the day,
I think Napoli heightened the standards of what we expect from them so much that it sort of jades where we're at, because I see some people saying, oh, come on, how could they not have gone through? They had a clear path to go to the Champions League final, where we have to also remember back in July and August, we didn't even have them in the top four to qualify for the next Champions League. For me, it doesn't take a single thing away from the incredible achievement that they're going to do in winning the Scudetto for the first time in 33 years.
I will celebrate that win.
In the Champions League, listen, this is still a young team. It's a young group that's been together. They don't have that much experience playing in high-pressure moments. I think Milan does have more experience in that sense, and I think that we did see that over the two legs. This is absolutely just a building block for Napoli, and I think that they're only going to get better from here. This is that first year, really, where you've got Kvara and Osimhen and all these players doing something incredible. So for them, this was a cherry on top of the cake that they were already in this position. And I think that Milan, obviously, what you guys said, I don't need to repeat it about how the game went. Going forward, we should say the game's on the opposite side, though, for the Italian teams. I'm very happy if we get Inter or Milan into the final. The thing that we just keep saying to all of us, because obviously Manchester City and Real Madrid are better than Inter and Milan. That's not a secret.
On the paper.
Yes, I'm going to continue. They're better, right? They should win those games. And I think if you played over two legs, they would likely win those games. In a 1-0 final, anything could happen. It's the most cliche saying of all time. And you never know. You never know the pressure, the stakes that get to these teams. I mean, maybe not Real Madrid because they don't lose finals. For you, or Michael too, who do you think is the best opponent for either Inter or Milan when it would get to the final? Is it Real Madrid or is it Manchester City?
Man City.
No, I think it's
Real Madrid. Real Madrid. Madrid, I'm convinced that even if they play their B team, they just have this mentality to win, and especially Champions League final. They don't lose those. They lost so many players, and I think City because first of all, they never won a Champions League, and in the past they've known to bottle their chances.
In the past, Guardiola screwed up with the De Bruyne on the last.
But not one
last
time, multiple times, 3-4 times. I mean, getting knocked out early when they're supposed to. So I think.
But can you make the argument that Haaland was that missing piece, that center forward? And now they have it.
You could, but I'd still put Madrid over Manchester City, regardless.
You think Milan or Inter could beat City in the final?
Yeah, and a one-off. I think it's possible. Of course.
I will say it will be for me. I will be happier if Ancelotti, first of all, is another Italian guy.
I knew you wanted Ancelotti. Going back to Istanbul too.
But that's not good for you guys, though.
Look, Mike. I gotta be honest with you. Marco said that the missing piece on the puzzle for Manchester City last year it was Haaland. Okay, they have it. And it's not a little miss.
He's devastating.
Was a huge piece of the puzzle.
He's crazy.
So
he's
this
crazy
guy
good.
here is not easy to contain. You have to put minimum 2 people all the time glued on this guy here. So that is going to create a lot more chance and opening for the rest of the squad of Manchester City that they're not second class. We're talking about De Bruyne. We're talking about top of the line players.
He's never been in the Champions League final.
They match AC Milan and Inter on the speed, on the quality, defensively. I think the overend. I think defensively, the only thing that we have an advantage, it's goalkeeping. Maignan. God forbid we go to
absolutely.
penalty kick.
Maignan is incredible.
I will take my chance with Maignan on the penalty kick.
Is it safe to say that he's the best goalkeeper in the world?
Right now, yes.
Or is Courtois?
Right now, Courtois. Forget about it, Courtois.
I think Magnan's first.
Maignan is by
I think Maignan has deserved his
that
credit
save
for a
on
long
that Di
time.
Lorenzo, I still watch it on replay.
And what about the save that he made on the France when he was playing at the
I'm just saying
national
more
team?
recent. That's
He
what I'm
he
saying.
also, I heard, I was listening to Tomodi's interview. I want to say it was with CBS, but I don't know. I don't remember for sure. And I believe, I definitely heard him say it, that he said we have so much confidence. Our backline has confidence knowing that Maignan, they could cheat a little bit, meaning staying high or go for it a little bit more because they know like Maignan is going to make 2-3 saves that are worth as much as a goal. And I think that shows the confidence that goes forward. Of course, injuries and so many things could play a part. I see both of your perspective. Like Man City, definitely without the history of winning, I think it plays into a factor.
huge
And I know
factor.
so many people dismissed it when you and I were saying that Milan's history matters, right? Because Napoli are a better team than you, right? Technically
They are.
on the paper.
They are.
But that's not how football's always played. You showed heart. You wanted it more. You converted your chances. Those are things that matter in football. And for me, belief, Milan felt like they've been there before. There was just a sort of calmness. Like even when they were absorbing pressure, they're like, no problem. Okay. We know we're going to get our chance. And when we do get our chance, we'll take our opportunities. Whether that comes down from the club, from Pioli, or Maldini, who's won the Champions League 5 times. For me, if I got a guy like that in the locker room that's telling me, giving me pointers, that has to help. That has to have some impact. And I know people don't like to say that history matters, but for me, it does. And for me, that's sort of the belief, and that's why I'm leaning towards, again, it's very early, but I'm leaning towards Milan in the leg of who I think can get to the final.
Let me tell you something. You name it the best player, maybe on the history of the AC Milan in terms of number of Champions League wins and international competition won and campionati. Maldini is a big factor in AC Milan. Even though he's always on the background, you see him sitting with Massara over there quietly. Once in a while, he will, will look a little bit upset or like happier or things like that. Maldini, he puts a lot of input. Okay, when you just type something, Maldini is the one that he just goes on the keyboard and said, "This is what I wanted."
But he's not
happen.
just a face either. He's actually made decisions to build the team. Like he went to see Theo Hernandez in Ibiza to sign him. Like he's made those
when
moves.
somebody like
Brahim
Maldini
Diaz
comes to your town and he comes to talk to you, that demands a lot of respect, and people, they feel like, wow, Maldini's coming personally to talk to me and to convince me. Some of those players, you just named Theo Hernandez right now, you know what a flattered they are to have Maldini coming and knocking at their door.
They were all idols for,
that's
these guys.
what I'm saying. Hey, who came to my house to see me, to talk to me? Maldini.
But you know what the thing is? I think that there's a difference.
It's a big deal.
But Anto, I think there's a difference too, right? Because we see legendary players at clubs where they're more just like a face. They're somebody to make the fans happy and excited, like, oh, all right, he's there. But they don't really have an impact on the team. They don't have an input. They don't decide things. I think Maldini was so intelligent because for years he had problems with the old Milan ownership where he didn't want to come back because he didn't want to be just a face and just sit there and be like, okay,
well,
let's go.
It's more than that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he didn't want to do that in the past. And he waited for the opportunity where things were right for Milan to put him in a position to actually make decisions. And I think that's the most impressive thing to me about Maldini is that he wants to be that character. He's not scared to do that, which you don't often see with legendary players.
Do not underestimate, excuse me, Mike, do not underestimate the fact that we still have Ibrahimovic playing or not playing. Ibrahimovic
He's not with the Champions League.
It doesn't matter, but it still is a factor. When Ibrahimovic trains or he goes over there and you look at the guy do Torello or do the other stuff, if he sees something, somebody's slacking off, you're going to hear from him, okay, number one. Number two, it's another guy that played the Champions League, okay? And number three, from time to time, you see even Shevchenko, whether he's sitting on the stand, whether he's sitting with Maldini, sometimes he gets into the field. When Shevchenko goes talking to Leao, when Shevchenko goes talking to Giroud.
He was in the studio in CBS.
Yeah, I know.
He wasn't in the game.
Listen, that guy's a genius. That guy was one of my idols. He happened to be from Ukraine. And, with all the trouble that Ukraine is going through, I feel like I have a lot of respect for people like that. Plus, I have a very good friend, my friend Viktor Popovsky from Ukraine too. It's not the quality of Shevchenko, but it's a superstar.
You don't say.
Superstar. So
he looks like him.
He looks like him.
No, that wasn't him. Victor's not the guy that came by.
Oh.
That's Peter's friend, Ukrainian friend.
He was also Ukrainian, no?
Yeah. Victor's their friend.
Victor.
What was his friend?
No, he's an older guy.
Anyway,
Wait.
joking on the side, when I said when Maldini, Shevchenko, Ibrahimovic, those are the players that those are different makers. If they say something to you, then you say, oh my God, they're talking to me. They asking me to do this. They asking me to do that. So the level of concentration, it is already high. When somebody like that comes and talk to you, say, oh wow, for somebody like that to come and talk to them, they feel that a lot more important than what they are. So it builds a lot of that adrenaline and that will for you to play way over your limit. You have to go over the limit if you want to win.
Mike, so Anto and I just played the Milan side for why we think they get to the final. Play the Inter side. What's the devil advocate for why Inter? You could see them getting into the Champions League final.
Okay. Well, even though I had Milan, I put more emphasis on them doing it. But I think a big part is for Inzaghi. I think Inzaghi has a lot more pressure than Pioli this season because last season he didn't fulfill expectation, and this is a second season, and this was a season for him to you're here, you're settled. We need to win something. We got to show that you've done something. And a lot of us had Inter winning the league, and that's not happening this season. We all know why with Napoli and stuff. But Inzaghi has to show why he deserves to be Inter's coach. And I think this is a big, big factor to show up and be like, okay, even though Milan in the past few meetings, Milan got the better of Inter, in Serie A and Coppa Italia and that stuff. But in the Champions League, there's a whole different competition. We know what can happen. Just like with Napoli and Milan, anything can happen.
Nobody
there's surprises.
had Napoli.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone counted out. I think you're right. I think that factor really plays into it.
I think that belief is what Inzaghi has to ride on, because he knows if he doesn't show that there's some urgency, that there's motivation, which lacked in previous games or all season for them, where it was like kind of bumpy, then it's going to be bye-bye for Inzaghi. But if Inzaghi shows that he can do something against Milan and reach a final of the Champions League,
the final,
I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot, regardless of whatever happens in the final.
We got to move on to Europa League. Otherwise, it's a whole show just about Champions League.
To him, just to put this whole argument to sleep. I think that the ownership is not going to be factoring in whether Inzaghi beats AC Milan or wins or loses the final.
You don't think so?
They'll raise it. If they're going to sell the club, which
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to the
point.
point.
If they get the Champions League, if they get to the Champions League final,
it values the
club
a lot more. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
no, it does. It values the club much higher.
But that's not going to be factoring whether Inzaghi is going to stay or not.
If they get to the final, they're going to sell immediately. They're going to look for any buyer.
Right? Cash out.
Why not wait? You never know. It's the final.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the Europa League because obviously very important. Juventus go through against a Sporting side that was, oh my gosh, so tough. That game was difficult to watch though. Juventus really had to grind out, and I'm very impressed by them to get through to the stage. Like, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't brilliant. We could keep repeating the same thing about Allegri's team all season, but they managed to do it against a Sporting side that knocked Arsenal out. An Arsenal that's first place in the Premier League. Sporting play a really great style as well. So for Juventus to be able to absorb pressure, maybe they made it more difficult than we wanted because they got that first goal with Rabiot. And I honestly, at 2-0, I said, okay, they're going to manage this game out. They usually don't concede a lot of goals. They'll be able to see this out. The fact that they're getting to the semifinals is massive. They found out before the 15 points they found out after the 15 points got back. So I was a little bit nervous on where their motivations could be because that was seen as like the best route to get into Champions League. They managed to do it. And again, not discrediting Sporting side. They came far to get to this point. Tactically and technically, lots of issues, lots of misplaced passes, Vlahovic becoming really a problem at this point with the lack of goals, not being able to get into it. But for Juventus side to get in, and now they play Sevilla because Manchester United were knocked out. They've got a path, not to discredit Sevilla, but they've got a real path to go to the final.
Oh, listen. Juventus, for some reason, is being kissed by Lady Luck. I mean, they got their 15 points back. I hope. I mean, this is it troubles me, the whole event, the way that they develop. First, they take them out, and then they go back and forth with the La Giustizia Sportiva. I have no idea what kind of rules we are obeying. Whether who can break the rules, who did break the rules, how many teams that did break the rules? Why yes in the beginning, and then at the points they go back. This has create a mass confusion, and I just hope that for the near future, on the future in general, we don't get to see this kind of stuff because it takes a lot away from the Serie A. Serie A is a spectacular league, so a lot of teams they do the same nonsense, whether it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, or Manchester United, or whatever. we do not want to be placed into this kind of a, vicious circle that I said we did what we were not supposed to do. And then, the Giustizia Sportiva, since they do not have sets rules, they gave them the free pass.
But why? I don't like that it's during the year. I think my biggest problem with this is like it's during a year. So Juventus played, I think, 11 or 12 games without the 15 points, which changes not only for them the way that they play the game, but it changes for the teams around them.
Right.
First of all, if I was any of the other teams, I would just automatically think that Juventus are going to get the 15 points back, because then you get yourself screwed in a situation by not expecting it.
Because you're calculating.
I don't like this in the middle of the season.
Right.
And then now they got the 15 points back, but there's another trial where they're going to maybe take away other points, or it could be a fine, and then we're going to find out in 30 days, and then it could go to next season. It should be you play the season afterwards. If there's something, they look into it. I think it changes too much how all the teams in Serie A decide to play the games.
Because we don't know still right now. We don't still don't know right now who's going to make that decision, how many points Juventus is going to be needing to whether stay in or stay out, and whether Juventus is going to wind up needing to win the UEFA in order to get into the Champions League. So this has created nothing but a mass confusion. So the problem is that this is happening because there are no set rules over there. The law is not clear. They don't say Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4. This is yes, this is no. Nobody knows. Everybody's confused at this point. They said, oh, we're going to get it. No, you're not going to get it. Hey, we here and we just.
Well, there's no point of even talking about it.
I see why. Why not?
Because
why not?
Because we keep calculating.
It's advantage to Juventus.
It's not an advantage at all.
It is advantage to Juventus. It's 15 points.
No,
back.
I'm saying us calculating constantly. Like, is it going to happen? We don't even understand. A lot of the time, I mean, they don't even understand what they're doing.
Too, how many times
first they said that the 15 points, it was not the right amount. Now they've gone too back and forth with it. And like I said, for me, if it was going to happen, they should have done it at the end of the season. Don't take away their 15 points and then give them back now in April. It should never have been taken away. Do it at the end of the season where everyone already played their games, and it's not like you're calculating for what happens.
It's definitely better to push it to next season, because doing it in the middle just caused a lot of chaos for not just Juventus. I think the other teams too, who are calculating to try to make those European spots. But some things that we can't control. Let's just assume Juve are sticking with those 15 points. They currently sit in third place with 59 points. Lazio in second place with 61 points, so 2 points above them. Then 3 points below them, Roma in fourth place. So, Anto, where do you think Juventus are going to finish if they keep these 15 points?
Why don't we just do, what do you think your top four are going to be?
Well, I hope that AC Milan can sneak in, because Roma.
Not hope. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
What do you think the top four is going to be at the end of the year?
I think AC Milan is going to sneak in.
Say your top
four. Who comes out?
I think Napoli, definitely. I mean, of course, they won already. Lazio.
You think Lazio are going to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yeah, Mike, there are only 7 games left. Am I right or wrong?
8.
Okay.
8, yeah.
It's all. Lazio's going to stay.
That's a lot of points, though.
Yeah, Juventus is going to stay. And I think Milan is going to be the fourth team.
So Napoli, Lazio, Juventus, Milan?
Yeah. Yep.
And Roma out. I feel like we're gonna get 5 teams. I think we're gonna get 5 teams to all qualify. I think some way or somehow.
Someone's gonna win the Champions.
So you're saying with Juventus winning the UEFA,
or Roma, or Milan, or either. Like, I think one way. I just have a feeling 5 seems to be the magic number. Cinque Palmi, 5. We're gonna get 5 teams in Champions League. It's really hard to not say Lazio at this point, because they're obviously a team. They're a team that I wasn't counting to be into the Champions League. The fact that they're there, and they also have this, they have a lower wage bill than even Atalanta, which is just incredible that they're there at this point. I guess so. You have to go Napoli and Lazio, Juventus, and I'm gonna put Milan, and have Roma and Inter, I guess, outside of the top 4, and Roma winning Europa League.
I mean, it's not that I wish something
Inter winning
better.
Champions League.
I just would be happy if Inter stays out.
Wait, what was yours?
I would be very happy if Inter stays out.
It would not be good. Look how good they're doing in Champions League.
Who cares?
I say Napoli first. Lazio, I mean, Sarri sabotaged every other competition, so you get.
They did intentionally. They went intentionally out,
which I don't really respect. But
you don't respect that. Hey, listen, you have to make a calculation. You want to go deep in a competition that you're going to end up losing, or you want to just be on the Champions League for the first time.
They probably wouldn't. If they wanted to, they could have won the Conference League.
You think so?
The Conference League,
a good chance.
I think they would have won.
They would have had a good chance.
He's saying that they're going to go out either way. That's not true.
No.
In the Conference League,
but you get more money for winning top 4 than winning.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry. So we interrupted you. Napoli, Lazio.
So Napoli, Lazio.
Watch out! I have an elbow ready to go.
there's still a lot of points up for grab. But I think Allegri's gonna get the job done, go to third and fourth. I don't think Roma have what it takes to make it, man. I think Milan are gonna sneak in and go to fourth.
So same as me, Roma and Inter out.
I think Inter's probably gonna finish in 5th place, but end up going to the final of the Champions League.
You just said Milan's going to the final of the Champions League.
I feel like I want to change it up because Inzaghi has to do something to. So he can please the higher up, so he can stay for another season.
So since we all eliminated Roma from our top 4s, you eliminated them as well. The game against Feyenoord was incredible. We were going absolutely nuts. What does that even mean?
It means that Dybala to the last.
What does that mean?
Thumb to the chin.
What does this mean?
He came to the 2 minutes before
by the hair of your
chin.
chin.
Yeah, but
I think I just gave you that one. Is this a thing?
In Italy, we say all'ultimo minuto means you do this.
Is that really
You
it?
just barely made it.
I never
Sounds like
heard
you're
that.
lighting a match.
Well, there's something. If you go a little bit lower, it means something else,
No,
right?
look this. At the very end, that means. Damn,
You've done it too many times.
Yeah, at the very
Everybody at home, if you're watching
I'm
this,
gonna
just
do
copy
that.
Antonio.
I'm gonna do that at the store next time.
Mr. Molinari, can you do
see
it?
what they do.
Let's see Mr. Molinari.
He's gonna light a spark if he does it.
Yeah, with the beard that he's got.
Nick, you have to just put it at the top. Look, your finger is almost at
He can't see where his chin
at
is.
the
His beard
top
is
of
too
the chin.
thick.
Yeah, he got beard. I'm gonna have to talk to your girlfriend. So you have to do like this. Look, Nick, right here.
If I do, I'm gonna get a rug burn.
Anyway, the game was a thrill. I really enjoyed watching this match. Feyenoord, I think a lot better than people expected because last year they beat them in the Conference League final. Yeah, Conference League, right? This time it's in the Europa League. They have a lot of young players. They're a fast team. They're a really good team. Roma starting the match without Dybala and Tammy. And it sort of laid it up to, of course, they're going to come in and they're going to be able to get this going. Once they score the 1-0, we sort of felt like the belief was all there. Feyenoord score. And everyone is like losing their minds, so disappointed, right? And then there is just something about this team. And I swear to God, I mean, we were watching it together. You could really and truly feel that Roma were going to score. And for me, that says a lot about where this team has come, the edge that Mourinho has brought to this team, and the quality in Paulo Dybala. Because the goal, immediately when I said it looked like the goal that he scored against Lazio in the final minutes when he was on Juventus. We watched it here as well. We watch every game here. And the belief is what impressed me so much about Roma. And I had zero doubt in my mind, that they were not going to go into the extra time and win that game in front of their fans who were incredible all night long. Mourinho said he wanted 67,000 players. They sang their hearts out. Roma really value this competition. And that's one thing I truly love about Mourinho. It's the edge that he brings to his teams. It's the mentality. It's allowing a player like Dybala to play in the position that he needs to be playing in. And it's that he loves winning in Europe, and it seems very hard to beat him.
Mourinho is very lucky that Dybala loves him. Dybala, I see.
Why is that lucky? People
he
gave up on Dybala. A lot of teams gave up on Dybala. Mourinho didn't.
When I see Dybala talking to Mourinho, it's like those two guys are best buddies. Whether they're talking from the sideline, the two guys,
They have to be.
They are concentrated, and when they're talking to each other, Mourinho, when Dybala says something, Mourinho listens. It's not Mourinho telling Dybala what to do. Dybala is communicating something to him that said, hey, this is the way we can do it. And then I see Mourinho yes him. In other words, I see I never seen a player make that conditional,
They understand each other. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, but Dybala is more than that. You don't have to be understanding each other to be on the same page. Dybala, its ways goes over that. Mourinho gives him carte blanche. If Dybala says black, Mourinho has to say black. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get on the same page.
That's sort of a complicity that I don't see with other players that Mourinho has it.
Well,
Mourinho's got a higher respect for Dybala,
100%.
and I see it. I see it on my eyes. I said, those
and he
two
manages
guys,
him well.
Yeah, you know how much I don't like Mourinho. I mean, I can have a beer with him at any time.
Does he want to have a beer with you, though?
No, he will, because we can talk about other stuff.
You're going to talk about Cassano.
Of saying the bad stuff about him.
Listen,
he hates Cassano.
I don't like the fact that he hates Cassano. You have to leave my buddy alone. But
did you hear what he said?
I know, and I heard what Cassano said about him too.
No, but did you hear after the game? The Sky producer said, "Oh, we've got a lot of champions, former players in the studio that want to ask you questions." He said, "Oh, Cassano's not there, huh?"
Oh, that's not right. Cassano. You know what? Cassano's got balls. Okay, Cassano is the only one that can talk to Mourinho like that because he knows what he's capable of.
Anyway, sorry,
And
I didn't want to get you off.
No.
Anto,
Cassano knows how to dissect Mourinho's game. Cassano knows what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong.
Anto, how much do you think Inter regret of not purchasing Dybala right now?
Lot.
Since Inter are missing that same
guy.
They're in
playmate.
semifinals of Champions League,
how
though.
much do you think Juventus will regret for giving up on him? Forget about Inter not purchasing him.
Yeah,
Juventus.
But everyone in the summer who saw Dybala was a free agent and said, nah, not too sure. Okay, yes, maybe physically, I get that. Physically, I mean, when he plays the game, he reads the game. He's on a level completely opposite to everyone else. I agree with you. And it is one detriment because I think that Roma without him, they struggle a lot.
Will never go. They will never even been on the UEFA competition.
No,
Dybala spelled trouble
So
for
many
Roma.
games
For
he's
a
been-
lot of teams. The guy is the franchise player, hands down.
So many games, he's been their only outlet in attack and the only reason why Roma score. It's almost concerning in a way because you need goals from other avenues.
El Shaarawy got the goal.
Yeah, he got the goal. But I'm just saying not a single match. I'm just saying overall this season for Roma.
He adds the level, but he adds the level of quality that takes him to the next level.
To more and diverse the goal scorers, not just a single player. So that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
I think that one other aspect, and we talked about this right when Dybala signed for Roma, we all love this deal. It's also the fans' relationship with him. I think Dybala's always been needed to be. He's needed to be felt. He's needed to be loved. He played at teams that loved him. Palermo fans absolutely adored him. Juventus fans absolutely, they hated that they lost him. Fans today still so sad. Your friend Alessia, right? She says it all the time that how much Juventus fans love him. And I think Roma fans have embraced him. They've truly embraced him and allowed him to play free. He doesn't have that sort of pressure because I saw who wants, one of our friends wants him for Real Madrid. Matt keeps saying that he needs to go to a team like Real Madrid, and I don't think that he's for a team like that. I think he needs to be the man, not one of many great champions, and I think he's found that at Roma where he could be the focal point. He's the reference that they all love. But the great thing about Roma is they're finding all the others to put around him that are the warriors that are going to battle, like Mancini. Rui Patricio played great. Matic was hustling and brought that little just understanding of we can win in Europe. We could take it to the next level. Absolutely. So they made me very,
Marco,
very happy.
Let me say something in terms of Roman history. Okay, Roma since
Roma's history or Roman history?
Roman history.
Oh, I thought we go to a little history class over there.
If you want to leave it in terms of speaking in Roma historic terms, since Totti retired, or he was forced to retire by Spalletti, and De Rossi retired. Okay. All right.
I thought this was Roman.
I'm talking about it. Let me finish.
Right.
Those were the imperatori di Roma. They were the emperors. Dybala, Roma became a town.
His empire.
Became an empire without a leadership. And so everybody was struggling to find some leadership inside the Roma. Now Roma è il nuovo imperatore, and all the rest are the gladiators. The gladiators that take the order from the emperor. So l'imperatore di Roma right now is
a little
Dybala.
dramatic.
No, it's not dramatic.
It's Mourinho.
Dybala, I give you the crown. You are the imperatore di Roma right now. So that's why.
If they win the
Lazio in second place.
Doesn't matter.
If they win Europa League,
he's the franchise player. To me, Dybala deserves the captain band. He's the one that should be.
They should just name the club after him.
They should. Yes, they should. Yeah.
What is going on?
If they win the Europa League, it will be something special. We need them to get past Leverkusen.
That's gonna be
I'll be honest.
tough.
I don't know. I know Xabi Alonso's a nice young coach. When I saw that he's coaching Leverkusen, I haven't watched enough of their games. Sevilla for Juventus, because we could have an all Italian final. Sorry, for Europa League. Yeah, they're on the opposite brackets.
Which one? Juventus and Roma.
Yeah, Juventus play Sevilla.
Nice.
Sevilla.
One step at a
Sevilla
time.
absolutely dominated Manchester United.
That's gonna be very
the
tough.
amount of chances that they created, I think they're the most winning team as well in the
Manchester
competition.
United?
They lost.
Give me a break.
No, Manchester United.
Manchester United will beat them if they come to Bay Area over here. Come on, Manchester United. Who do they have as a defender? What's the name of that guy over there? Maguire. He's very good at scoring spectacular header in his own net, Mike. Don't we have a friend that is a fan of Manchester United?
Ryan.
Ryan?
Ryan has lost it for.
I like how Anto's pretend like he doesn't know.
Ryan, I didn't mean to rub it into you.
You know what bothers me about Ryan?
What?
Ryan is complaining that they were missing players.
Oh, yeah.
But 90 million of Maguire, I don't know if this is true, but I'm sure it is. The 80, 90 million of Maguire probably costs more than all of Sevilla's transfer fees combined for their 11.
I want my money back.
Let alone Sancho and all the players that they spent hundreds, and Anthony. You just can't use that excuse for me. Sevilla played fantastic, and they deserve to go through. It's going to be a great battle. If we can get to Italian teams, it would be spectacular.
We will. I think we will, yeah.
And now let's talk about Fiorentina, who's the last team who in Conference League, they made it difficult.
Was crazy.
They made it difficult against Lech Poznan. They had the 4-1 advantage. Maybe wrongly so. I expected this to be easier than it was. Italiano changed a couple of players like Jovic, who... for me, probably shouldn't be starting in important games. I think Cabral does a better job.
But you would think you got to cut him some slack. You're up by 3 goals, right? So rotate a little bit. There's still Serie A. There's still some work to do. So I don't think it's everyone's going crazy on Italiano. They're up by 3 goals. You know what I'm saying? So you got to rotate a little bit, no? Is it that crazy that you have to play your best? You're up 3-0. Is it that crazy?
Look what happened with AC Milan with Empoli. Look what happened with AC Milan with Bologna. Give me a break. Come on, Mike.
You gotta rest your players, Anto.
I mean, Italiano is a spectacular guy.
But you gotta rest your players a little bit. I
don't like him that he beat us. He beat AC Milan for, without deserving. But he's doing a spectacular job. I give him a lot of credit.
I really love Vincenzo Italiano. I love him for the attitude that he's bringing again in Europe. And I feel like that's a theme of what I feel. It's that in the Italian teams, we have coaches who value the competitions, who realize what it brings to the fans. Because Florence, when they scored the goal to get them through to the next round, the scenes were unbelievable. Like, they're beautiful. They give you emotions. I think it was it Mandragora who went right into the fans and they're embracing him. And Florence has wanted that for so long. And the fact that they're getting to achieve that, the Conference League is perfect for them. And I really believe that they could win it. And if they win it all, it's a huge achievement. Because for me, Italian teams like that, I know the Conference League is a new competition, but in general, just replace it with Europa League. We never took them serious enough. The fact that Italiano's doing that, he's bringing a European type of game. Even if it was close with Lech Poznan, I'm so happy and proud of this Fiorentina side for doing what they're doing.
It's a big testament even to Joe Barone and Rocco Commisso, because initially they went through a lot of struggle and trying to get the defense base to buy into the project and all the stuff. And
a couple of weeks ago, months ago, we were talking about something completely different.
They tough it out. Those 2 guys, I think I tip my hat to both of them. We happen to know who they are, and with Joe, we're very good friends. And Joe, good job, Joe. I just hope. For the best. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'll see you at Villa Bate for the coffee and the cornetto after the trophy's won. And this time I'm going to make you pay. Okay?
You paid last
time?
What a nice
friend.
No. I mean, money all the time he's offering us or whatever.
The
but Joe, this
gives it
time
to
I want to celebrate with eating a croissant that Joe Barone is buying
with
me.
the cup. Maybe he's going to bring the cup.
Joe, bring the cup over.
I'm going to go there and be like, put on Antonio's tab next time I go there. Okay?
That's a good idea.
I do want Fiorentina.
We shouldn't say that out loud, maybe.
No, we should say that out loud.
The fact that we could have, we know we have a Champions League, Italian in the Champions League final. The fact that we could have one Italian at least into all the finals would be something spectacular. I want 2 out of the 3. I want 2 out of the 3.
I want 3 out of 3.
I want 3 out of 3.
That would be the real triplete. An Italian winning all 3 European for the first time. Well, since it's new,
y'all die. League. By the way, are you going? Are you going to the game or what?
How am I going to go if I don't have the tickets? What am I going to do? Watching the game from a big screen outside? No, if I got to be in the action. Right, Nick? See, Nick,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if the people want you to go. Maybe the people don't want you to go.
If anybody from CBS Sports or Paramount Plus is watching the podcast, you can
Why just them?
Forward.
What about any other?
No,
anyone else who has tickets
if anybody's got a ticket, Antonio's a big AC Milan fan. I would love somebody to just.
Anto, what would you do in return for a ticket?
I would shine their shoes or wipe their shoes.
You do that regardless. What else would you do?
Oh no, I don't do that regardless. I wanted to be in San Siro.
Who's going to get this guy tickets to the game?
Oh, please. I mean, I'm not begging anybody, but if you guys can find on your heart to send me over to San Siro, I'm one of the biggest, maybe the biggest AC Milan fan on the face of the earth. Okay?
We should do it. We should do a competition to find the biggest AC Milan fan on earth and put you in the competition.
Right,
There's a lot of.
That's good. Yeah, but I'm a sick puppy when it comes down to AC Milan.
One pushback: Milan have always won when you're watching in the studio. So maybe it's
Not
bad luck.
necessarily.
Yeah? In Champions League, you've always gone through and you always stay right
only
here.
if Sabrina is around over here, which is Giuseppe's wife.
She wasn't around for the last game against Napoli.
She was.
No, she wasn't.
She was. She was sitting right there. You were in Ribalta.
Shoot. Yeah.
Sabrina had the Calabria shirt on. And she was watching the game. Believe me,
So,
Sabrina
Anto,
is
that means you have to stay here and watch the game with her.
Or maybe we'll get Sabrina to come to Milano too.
No, she already told me she can't.
She can't?
No, she can't.
Why do you know that?
I just spoke to her.
Anto, we'll bring the studio to Milano.
Oh, that would be spectacular.
We'll lift
No,
it
but
all.
seriously, you have to watch the game here. Otherwise, if you go, then
But
Milan
so
loses.
you don't
your
want me
fault.
to go?
I want for your own benefit.
I mean, guys, if you guys can find a ticket for me, I'll pay for the plane and I'll go.
That's
I'm definitely going to go.
What would you do for a ticket?
What would I do? Oh my
Yes.
God. I wash dishes for 3 weeks in the worst restaurant of Milano.
In the worst restaurant in Milan.
So,
Well, good. Any other topics?
I gotta show you. Wait, you had something?
Yeah.
So we posted a thing of Ancelotti and Mourinho, and we made the caption.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
put your
I'll
glasses.
just read it, and you can. We put the caption is: if you go up against these guys in Europe, just pack your bags.
what does that mean?
Saying like these
that
guys are
means they
so
win
good
a
in
lot.
tournaments that I don't even bother playing against them.
Ancelotti, yes, not Mourinho.
No?
Yeah. Mourinho doesn't scare me. Ancelotti does. Ancelotti is like a magician. He's a guru. Ancelotti is very rarely is going to lose a final. Almost never.
I thought you wanted to get him in the final.
I know, but I want it because the stats are made to be broken, okay? And I want the AC Milan to break these stats.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, guys. That's our podcast for today. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.
See you guys.
Okay.